Hello again. There's nothing. We've been hot on the trail of the Wyoming werewolf.
We're getting closer! I can smell him!
It wasn't just one, it was like fucking 5 of them, and they were like jackals, but they had man legs. True survival, one beast at a time.
We don't want it to hurt you! It went like this. When it does that, that means it's angry. If you look to the left, you can see her tail sticking up out of the water.
I know we can do it. We'll just grab the fucking hot dog pokers and jab his fucking eyes out. Upstairs, there's 4,000 Spanish dudes fucking partying. Down here, there's rats dancing with the ghosts of Nazis. So I hop in my truck and I start heading to Owensboro, Kentucky. And it's supposed to be about a 10-hour drive, but that's bullshit because it's every bit of 12 hours. I do it old school style. I'm used to driving from years on the road. I drive straight the whole way. Stop a couple times to piss and get gas and some snacks, but you know, I enjoy the drive. Part of the whole thing for me is getting on the road and just hauling ass. So I roll into town to Owensboro, Kentucky, and it's a very small town situated on the Ohio River. Mr. Walker said that he found this object at a local thrift store.
This right here is what I call the Urim and Thummim.
I'm at the courthouse. This little cute pig here, checking out lots of the town's history. We're very, very close to the location of the Urim and Thummim. We're gonna get... Somebody's gonna tell me how to pronounce that pretty soon. I have an address. I might as well go by his house. So I drive over there and I try to find the door, but there's a big long gate that doesn't have a real door, and I start to knock and say hello, hello, and someone from across the street goes, "No one's home." And I look around and I said, "Is this the Walker residence?" And he says, "Who's asking?" And I said, "Hello," you know, and I told him who I was and what I was there for, and he said, "Oh, you want to see this?" And he pulls up his shirt sleeve and shows me a tattoo of the object, which was the cover of the documentary that was done in 2007 on this subject. And he grins like a Cheshire cat and says, "Come on over here." And it turns out this is Todd Walker's brother-in-law, and they take my phone number and they're all happy, and they say, you know, "We'll have him call you back. He's out at some flea markets." I love to go to flea markets and antique malls and thrift stores, and since he's there and he supposedly found the object at a thrift store for 69 cents, and I see so many around, I decided to go to a peddler's mall. And I walk in a peddler's mall, and a week before I had found in Richmond a Fall Guy lunchbox that didn't have a thermos. So the first thing I do when I go in this giant antique mall is look through some shirts and some records, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a little thermos, and I look down, and it's the Fall Guy thermos. And I don't know how you guys feel about coincidences, but this told me I was on the right path. So he hasn't called back, and it's been a few hours, so I just decided to drive back over there. And I knock on the door, and a man comes out, has no shirt on, big cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, and he's got his hair pulled back in a ponytail, and he's smiling this big smile, and he's the most jovial, friendly man that I could have imagined. And he invites me directly into his little man cave that's out behind his house, and we just start talking. And I don't think he stopped talking the whole time that I was there.
Question ain't really a question when she gets done with you. And the sky is black and still now on the hill where the angel sing. You gotta sing that high part. And it's funny how an old broken bottle looks just like a diamond ring, and it's far, far from me. Let's see.
Todd takes me out to the Ohio River, shows me what he calls God's country.
This is you and God, and that's what it is, and I love it.
For him, that's the kind of things that wakes me up, I guess I'm trying to get at.
Now, the story of this object is that he found it at a Goodwill 20 years ago in Nashville. And he's telling me all these stories, and he must have been shot at or someone attempted to kill him like 5 or 6 times.
I sit down on the floor. I got that because I seen Mike slinging that damn shotgun around, and I guess she was on the dance floor. I didn't really see her, and anyway, he chased her outside. Her and Jason chased her outside, and you heard a big boom and a pow 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 pow, and god dang it, they went out there and fucking here come Mike. She got him right here in his arm, and he couldn't cord his guitar no more. It was either that or he just too scared to be around her because she was a wild bitch.
And I'm thinking, this man might be more incredible than this object.
Yeah, because you got to say the right thing sometime, and you got to know what you're talking about. And, I ain't the fucking smartest bird in the nest, you know what I'm saying?
We go back to his house, roll a joint, and he takes out a little bag, and inside of the bag is a little hat that looks like James J. Walker's hat, and he pulls out this marble object that looks like a lamp except for it has holes on the side. He takes out a little series of red lights, and we manipulate the light on it, and we look at it. And he had told us that he doesn't look into it anymore. I think that he had tried to put it away, and nobody came to talk to him in 12 years since they made this movie. I might be the only person who came to interview him about it. And I find out that he's spent all this money. He flew himself out to talk to that guy from Ancient Aliens, Giorgio Chavaklius, or whatever that guy's name is, and saved up his money, and he beat himself up in a hotel room for 3 days because he handed that guy a DVD with his phone number on it, and he expected him to call him. And he's just tortured himself with this object.
You scientists and geologists, archaeologists, come to me. Get on the site. Ask me questions.
I decided to go to talk to a rabbi.
First of all, what was the Urim and Thummim in the Torah, in the original Hebrew text?
So the Urim and Thummim are shrouded in mystery, but we have a clear description of it in Exodus 27. Inside the breastplate of decision you shall place the Urim and Thummim. And the way it was used is that Aaron, the high priest, wore a breastplate that looks something like this, and it was worn around his neck. There was 12 different gemstones, each for the 12 tribes of Israel, in a bag like this, or a pocket.
He had a bag that looked like a Crown Royal bag, except it was black instead of purple, and it had these 2 rocks. One was black and one was white.
Identical in nature, except that one would be light and one would be dark. And so they were placed in the bag or the pocket which was behind the breastplate, and when there was a decision to ask the high priest that had no earthly answer, you would ask him a question, he would reach in and without looking pull out an answer, and if it was white, the answer would be no or guilty, and if it was dark, then the answer would be yes or innocence.
This bag of rocks, it was like a Price is Right game.
More than 100, hundreds of people have observed this, and they will tell you that they see images inside of it and on the outside of this object.
I think regardless of if you believe this relic that he has in his hand is handed down from the hand of God, it's profoundly changed him in a way that's positive, because he sounded like an outlaw. I still feel like the story is incredible and human, and about all of us searching for answers in something, whether it's on the road or in an object or in a person or in a belief system. We're all looking for answers.
I'm gonna play one right here. We'll all be drinking that free bubble up and eating that rainbow stew.
I don't know you, but I still care about you. I care about the whole world, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't get this world back to turning the way it's supposed to, we're going to all lose together in the end.
If somebody cuts my leg off, I'm going to be pretty pissed about it.
Well, I might hop over to him and knock their jaw loose, but I can still love him and do that. You know what I'm saying? I told my wife that, babe, I might have to take this back to Israel.